Glember, The Tale of a Monster. Written, recorded, and illustrated by A.K. Brookman. Chapter 14. After the Storm. Continued. Day 40. Continued. Glember was walking from the mouth of the cave back to where he had been sitting when suddenly he came to a dead stop. He walked slowly back to the mouth of the cave and tilted his head to one side. He stood there motionless for some time, and then he turned to me. "Prepare yourself, human," he said. "The wizards are near. I can hear them." Chapter 15. The Wizards of Gnai. Glember led me down into the darkness of a lower chamber. The passageway we entered branched out countless times, and each time we took one of these, it too branched out countless times. Only one was the correct way, he assured me, leading me with a single glow flower. Now we waited and listened. There was a small tunnel that burrowed its way from the lower chamber up to where the main chamber lay. Glember assured me we would be able to hear whatever was said in the upper chamber. So the system had been designed countless years ago, and should the wizards know of the lower chamber, it mattered little. The passage that led to it encircled the lower chamber itself, with countless holes joining the two, through which were placed rods fit for stabbing victims as they attempted to reach the chamber. It could not be breached, Glember assured. As we waited there in the darkness, I considered the memory and debated relaying it to Glember. I think I felt like I had the upper hand because he did not know that I knew. We waited for a very long time. We were considering they were not coming, that they had either turned back or were constructing with their magic some way to cross the path, when suddenly we heard them. Indeed, we prepared to make our way back up when their voices were suddenly heard. "How do they know about this place?" Glember whispered, shaking his head. He seemed surprised. I wasn't. They chased us this far. They knew where they were going, and they knew the tricks along the way. The wizards were cautious at first, warning each other, checking the passageways a short distance each, and at times all talking at once. Yet, with the passage of some time, they relaxed and settled down to chat. Glember and I, of course, had the privilege of listening in to a conversation few in the realm would ever behold, let alone believe. What I heard that night and in that cave would forever change and undermine absolutely everything I thought I knew about Meristheria. So the Wizards of Gnai spoke as Glember and I listened. Wizard 1. I, for one, will be content to remain at the tower till the end of my days following this journey. Wizard 2. Seriously, what adventure awaits there? You study, read, practice. You never get to use any of it. Out here, we can put it to use. We can put it to the test, not to mention the scenery, the mountains, the view. Wizard 1. I always dreamed of coming to the sacred pass. It's just, once you get here, it is but mountain after mountain, rock after rock. I'm not fit for such travels. I cast spells. I don't climb, nor have I the desire to. Admittedly, it's beautiful out here, but the beauty isn't worth the pains of my legs and back. Wizard 3. Part of our training is to stay fit. If you were keeping up with that, you'd be enjoying these mountains without the pains. Wizard 1. I'm fit enough. This journey is just simply ridiculous. We've been traveling uphill for the past, 4 days? I'm a Wizard of Gnai. Someone else is supposed to be doing this for me. Wizard 3. Now, if the slaves did everything for us, we'd quickly become bored, not to mention we'd lose our edge. Wizard 1. I don't think I could ever grow tired of sending others to do my bidding. Wizard 4. I must agree with him on this. More time to study, more time to expand power. Wizard 2. Well, I enjoy this. Sorry, but I grow tired of staring at stone walls all day. Wizard 1. Well, you can take my place next time then. Wizard 2. Without hesitation, any time. Wizard 4. While you 3 debate this, I'm going to read. Wizard 2. Read. I'm going to take another look at the view. Wizard 1. I, for one, don't much enjoy heights. Wizard 3. Honestly, there probably won't be many ventures like this in the coming days. We should enjoy it while we can. Wizard 1. There will always be ventures. They send us all over the place for this or that. Wizard 3. When will anyone ever come this far again north into the northern fars? They're quite certain he's the last gargle, the last of his kind. General Kelm said they not only conquered all 8 of the Gargle cities, but that they camped at each of these cities for months, raiding the nearby mountains, patrolling the surrounding trails. He said they didn't leave a rat alive in any city. They're gone, all of them. Their race is history. So what we're doing now? This is history in the making. We won't be out here again. What we get to see, we'll be telling others about for decades, centuries if we live that long. We're fortunate to be experiencing this. Wizard 1. It doesn't seem like making history, friend. Or luck. Chasing down the last one seems sad. It just sounds sad. Wizard 4. Talk like that'll get you killed. Wizard 1. I thought you were reading. Wizard 4. Yes, I'm back to my reading. Just watch what you say. Voice disagreement is the first step toward disobedience. Wizard 1. You sound like Blag. Wizard 4. Good. Wizard 1. My dear apologies. It is my honor, no, my sacred and blessed privilege to slay the last remaining Gargle from the bosom of Meristheria. May we sever his few fingers and dance atop his rotting corpse. All herald the Wizards of Gnai. Wizard 4. Careful, Zen. Be very careful. Wizard 2. Relax, brothers. Breathing this air and taking in that view, I don't know how anyone can be tense. In fact, we should build a fire. I mean, a real fire, just for old time's sake. Wizard 1. You're serious, aren't you? Wizard 2. Of course. We can rub sticks together and everything. Wizard 1. Or we can cast a spell. Wizard 2. That's boring. Wizard 1. It's practical. Wizard 2. It's boring. Wizard 1. At times, Vane, you remind me of a small child. Wizard 2. Ah, but you refer to my childlike sense of adventure, something I am quite proud of. In fact, I'm off to find some sticks. Who's with me? Wizard 4. I'm reading. Wizard 3. I'm stretching. Wizard 1. I'm sleeping. Wizard 2. Have it your way, jesters. I'm living this full. Wizard 1. Well, have a wonderful time. I hope you don't get strangled by the Gargle out there alone. Wizard 2. Ha ha ha. Wizard 1. Did someone poison his staff? Wizard 3. Heh. Wizard 1. So, we really have to wait here until tomorrow? Wizard 3. Yes, that's the only time we can take the pass. Well, I suppose Jays could go on without us, but the rest of us must wait for the morrow, when the pass comes together. Wizard 1. How is it that he can go without us? Wizard 3. Jays can levitate and direct his movements. Wizard 1. Ah, I see. A shining light of diligence and study, I see. Wizard 4. You'll get there too, Zen. You just need to study and learn some respect. Wizard 1. I'll work on it. Wizard 4. Good. Wizard 1. I'm just tired. Wizard 3. We all are. Wizard 4. You know what you can work on, Zen. Wizard 1. Do tell. Wizard 4. A new threat. Wizard 1. A new threat. Wizard 4. Yes. When the Gargle is wiped clean, the Wizards of Gnai will need to create a new threat. You know, create a new terror, to keep the people thinking they need us. Even slaves must believe their masters are really their protectors. It keeps them working for us. Wizard 1. I thought there was an entire council devised for creating such threats, for dividing various spiritualities and cultures, to keep various people battling each other so we can profit from both sides and the like. Wizard 4. There is, and I think you'd be great at it. Wizard 1. Why is that? Wizard 4. You're angry about everything. You can find the worst and even the good. You're exactly what they're looking for. Wizard 1. Sounds easy enough. Wizard 4. Honestly, you do it without thinking. You're a natural. Look into it is all I'm suggesting. Create a new threat of your own. Present it. Wizard 1. I think I will. I'd probably enjoy that. Wizard 4. A lot less travel, too. More conspiring, bribing, spreading lies. Easy things. Wizard 1. Sounds a whole lot better than climbing mountains. Wizard 4. I heard the Savalites and the Eubinians are making peace. Wizard 3. Really? Wizard 4. Eh? Wizard 3. Amazing. We worked for 20 years trying to further divide their religions to keep them at war with each other. How did that happen? Wizard 4. People grow tired of war. They all want peace. Yet, the population grows recklessly if we can't control them. We can't hardly live as lavishly and study the way we do without keeping them subject. Someone needs to devise a clever way that will get them warring again. You might tackle that, Zen. My guess is there are open positions where others have recently failed. You may have to study the religion a little, pretend to be one of them, move up the ranks. You'll get help with that, of course. Then get to a point where you're making or influencing the decisions. Push subtle changes that will help divide the religions further, and there are the messy ways too. Kill a few on each side at a tense time. Let the mobs handle the rest. At times, if you can kill the right ones, you can keep a war going for decades. Lots of profit. Wizard 1. I love the women in that region. Wizard 3. There you are, friend. Wizard 4. A perfect match, then. Wizard 3. Tell me, Jays, you're so knowledgeable on historical accounts. Is it true that the Order was tainting the water in a region for years long ago, slowly changing the people to a different race? Wizard 4. Quite true. Wizard 3. Do we still do that? Wizard 4. Well, we can. We're not, though. Wizard 3. Why not? Wizard 4. We usually only do that when total chaos breaks out, when the people suddenly catch on, when there is no other alternative. It's then that we spread disease. Wizard 3. I always wondered why they don't just use disease more often. Wizard 4. Did you not take the control course at the tower? Wizard 3. Years ago. Wizard 4. You should review then. We seldom profit from disease. People get it, they die. The profit would be from a cure, and a cure would, well, end the death. It's rather pointless because it isn't profitable. However, when the population gets too large, or if they begin to catch on, it's a useful tactic. It kills quickly and efficiently. Once a population has been reduced to near nothingness, that is when we alter physical form. It's easy to do on small populations, and nearly or entirely impossible on large populations. Wizard 3. Make some tall, some short, some one color, others another. Wizard 4. Exactly, some strong, some nimble. Throw in various cultures, each to a distinct population by strict enforcement until they accept it as ritual. But all that is when we are in a bind, or when the worst comes and we practically sunder the entire realm. Those are the early steps to control. The text, Division to Control, is a worthwhile read. It covers all the stages, countless tactics, even how to devise rebel groups so that you can control them as well, draw on their numbers, and exterminate them easily. It covers various ways in which you can instill people with the false idea that they have a voice, or control, or hope. Wizard 3. Yes, I remember it. Read very little of it. I was in the tactical tower. Cast, kill, cast. Didn't read much theory. Wizard 4. Oh, it's an art. It's even better than that. We've employed these tactics successfully for centuries. Well, since we came to Meristheria. Of course, other factions that preceded us outside of Meristheria did the same then. Wizard 1. Wasn't the original Gargle-human pact that the Gargles would guard the pass where they could easily defend against the dangers in the north, and in return, the humans would not be attacked, so the humans would not use magic against the Gargles? Seems like I read the Gargles were prone to magical attacks, but the humans were prone to whatever was trying to get through the pass, or that was coming in and raiding from the mountains. Yet, the Gargles were excellent at killing these. Wizard 4. Yes, for the most part. A lot more to it, of course, if you're up for it. Wizard 1. Actually, I think I'm going to sleep. We've traveled the entire day and night. Wizard 4. Fair enough. You should sleep too, Tevin. You look exhausted. Wizard 3. I am. I believe I'm off to sleep as well. Are you? Wizard 4. Soon. I'm going to read a little. Make sure Fane finds his way back. Cast a few wards for safety's sake. Wizard 3. Ah, I should have thought of that. We talked about it earlier. Do you think the Gargle and the human already made it across the pass? Wizard 4. I don't know. My guess is yes. This is the Gargle's territory. I think they knew another way past this, but used it just because they knew well how to defend it. I imagine they are days ahead of us. Still, I'll put up the wards just to be safe, especially since we really don't know much about the other one. Wizard 3. Yes, that still doesn't make sense. Wizard 4. It doesn't. I don't understand it at all. Why would he force a human up here? I just can't seem to piece that part together. Wizard 3. Perhaps the Gargle isn't forcing him. Perhaps they're friends. Wizard 4. No, we saw the rope hanging back there. Not to mention the mechanism the human was wearing. No, the Gargle has clearly caught himself a slave. I just can't figure out what he plans to do with this human. It's so odd. I don't like it. Wizard 3. You think the Gargle is acquiring information from him? Wizard 4. No. What would he know? What could he tell the Gargle? I'm more worried about the opposite situation. Wizard 3. Well, we can interrogate the human before we kill him. Wizard 1. You're sure they don't want him alive? Wizard 4. They both die. Even if innocent, the human knows too much now. They both are to be killed. Wizard 3. That should be simple enough. Wizard 4. It should be. Wizard 3. Yet you hold out? Wizard 4. I just don't know what the Gargle is up to. That makes me uneasy. So, like I said, I'll throw up some wards just to be safe. Something just isn't right about all of this. I'll figure it out eventually. For now, we remain cautious. Wizard 3. I always feel safe traveling with you, Jays. Wizard 4. That's why they sent me. Wizard 3. Is it true you never failed the mission? Wizard 4. Regretfully no, but that was a very long time ago, and it is why I'm so careful. Wizard 3. Blag said you had one of the best records in our history. Is that true? Wizard 4. We've a very long history, Teffin, most of which is kept confidential to nearly all of us. I have no way of knowing the answer to that. Wizard 3. Well, Blag would know, and it sure makes me feel more at ease, knowing we're the third mission on this one. Wizard 4. Well, the first wizard died to the very rising wolf we sent after the gargle. That was a senseless mistake. Wizard 3. And the other two? Fane is gone now. You can tell us. We're all ranked high enough to hear. Wizard 4. Very well. The second mission failed because one of the wizards was thrown off a cliff to his death, and the other had his lower jaw ripped off and was quite unable to cast. Wizard 3. He lived? Wizard 4. He left his staff behind. Wizard 3. Oh. Wizard 1. Damn. Wizard 4. Exactly. Wizard 3. So, no. Wizard 4. He lived until he made it home. Wizard 1. Why would he even come home without it? Wizard 4. To apologize. Wizard 1. Damn. Wizard 3. Damn. There was a long moment of silence. Wizard 3. So a question. Wizard 4. Yes. Wizard 3. Never mind. Wizard 4. You sure? Wizard 3. Yes. Wizard 4. Very well. Wizard 1. What? Wizard 3. I mean... Wizard 1. Uh-oh. Here it comes. He's laughing. Wizard 3. No, I'm not. Wizard 1. You're trying not to laugh. Wizard 3. No, I just had a serious question. Wizard 4. What's your question? Wizard 1. Any time he uses the word serious, you know it's a jest. Wizard 3. That's not true. Wizard 1. Really? Wizard 3. Yes, really. Wizard 4. So what is the question? Wizard 1. Yes, what's the question? I've got to hear this. Wizard 3. Well, I was just wondering how he apologized when he returned. Wizard 4. I don't follow you. Wizard 3. I mean, if he had no jaw, did his tongue just hang down and wiggled, oh, and that meant he was sorry? How can we really know? At this point, the three wizards all began to laugh, and then Wizard 1 broke the silence. I knew it. I knew it was a jest in the works. Wizard 4. Admittedly, I seldom find such things humorous, but that was quite funny. Wizard 3. Thank you. Wizard 4. Good to laugh sometimes. Wizard 1. I'm going to remember that one. That was grand. Wizard 3. Thank you. Wizard 4. Just be careful when you say that. Wizard 1. True. Wizard 3. Indeed. Wizard 1. Well, I'm off to sleep for certain now. Wizard 3. I am as well. Wizard 4. Rest well, you two. Wizard 1. Rest. Wizard 3. Rest all. The wizards shuffled about, and soon but quietude settled over the chamber. A short time later, the adventurous wizard, Fane, returned, and did manage to build a small fire. Glember and I heard chanting as jays placed wards at the mouth of the cave and outside the tunnels that led away. Despite the coming morning, the 4 wizards of Gnai took to sleep. I stood there in the darkness beside Glember with a small glow flower in my hand. I had been opening and closing my hand nervously for some time as we listened to the Wizards of Gnai speaking above. Now, I could not open or close it any longer. It rested yet in my palm, half visible, throwing its soft glow through the spaces between my fingers. I couldn't crush it. Somehow, submersion into total darkness seemed too gloomy, yet to allow more or less light now seemed to be toying with it as a child, something that did not fit the recently acquired facts of Glember's people. So he was the last gargle. Neither family nor familiar faces would greet him when he returned to his homeland. What brought him to the heart of Meristheria? How had the Wizards of Gnai caught his trail? The words of the Wizards of Gnai coincided perfectly with my reclaimed memory, despite the fact that I had never uttered them. What was Glember thinking now? What were his plans to begin with? Glember lowered himself slowly and sat against the coarse wall of the deep chamber. He was opening and closing his hand, and I had the urge to do the same, but resisted due to the glow flower I held as our only light source. I tried many times to begin speaking, to break the silence with a meaningful whisper. Each time, I decided against it. Whatever I could say would be forced. Whatever words I thought may reach for meaning would never pluck that from the air. The silence alone accorded the somber atmosphere. As great an awakening as it was for me to hear the professed protectors of the realm were little more than tyrants, murdering at will to maintain the luxury of their control, how much worse was it for Glember, the last Gargoyle, the wake of the wrath of the Wizards of Gnai? What was real any longer? What were justice and hope? It pained me to know Lily would likely never know what a gargoyle truly was, that I would never live to tell her. I didn't care anymore. I grabbed the staff spear and the pack Glember had been carrying, the one I was forced to wear for most of the journey, the one with the Xiron spike. I had inspected it before. I knew how to pull the spike loose, and did this while Glember watched. I ripped a long leather strap from my clothing, forced the Xiron into the staff in place of the rock that had been there, and began to wrap the leather strap around the end of the staff to secure the Xiron barb in place. Glember, still watching me, stood up now just as I did. There was nothing to say. After 40 days, he saw the resolution in my eyes. I impaled the glow flower on the end of the spear. Its light would lead the way. "No," Glember whispered. "They will kill you, Randall." This concludes part 11 of 17 of Glember, The Tale of a Monster. You're listening to the first book of the Meristherian Trilogy. Please subscribe if you like the content, where you'll have access to additional books. Feel free to support this channel by telling others about it. These books are free to listen to, as you know, and everyone's welcome here. Leave a friendly comment if you like. Again, this is AK. Thanks for listening, friends, and see you next time.